Hashtag family forever. That's how we roll, okay? Is that cool? All right, so let's play a little video and then I'll introduce her and bring her up, okay?
Happiness for me is freedom. Every single day we're one step closer to not being here, to not being able to make a difference to our life, to people around us. We cannot hide from the fact that we have limited time. All you need to do to change your life is just take different actions. The quality of the questions you ask yourself will dictate the quality of your life. I teach people what I do, and ultimately I give them my money at the end of it. Come fly with me to another bigger, better place, yes? So we can get there, and we can do it ourselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage. It's Miss Hitherman. Let's stand up. Let's give her a hand. She's coming up. Are you ready?
I'm in the right room.
Excellent, excellent. Take a seat. Thank you very much. And thank you for turning up on day 2 of the amazing Breakthrough Summit. Are you having an amazing day?
Yes.
Were you here yesterday?
Yes.
I was here yesterday. I was sitting right at the back watching all of you guys. And I was at the back today this morning. And I have to say, I have never seen before so many women in one room. That only spells one thing. Ed J.C. Smith. Yes? You know how hard it is for me to get women into a room? Because women and financial trading, it doesn't come together very often, which is why I am so impressed with having a room full of women, obviously men. I know to see 2. You're all there. How many men? I see 1. Where are the rest? Wow, okay, we've got like 2%. That's great, that's fine. So women, I can see why Ed holds these events. It's easy for him. He's like, if I need a date, I'll have one every hour if I want. Who would love to do that? Just so I know. Oh, lies, yes, you're already trying to be shy. Okay, well, what I want to tell you today in the next hour and a half, so it's going to be very, very quick. I need a lot of your attention. Are you going to give me your 100% attention?
Yes.
Because what I'm going to teach you is pretty intense, but it's pretty damn good. If you want to make money and be able to sustain a lot of wealth in your life, then this stuff is something you really need to pay attention to. Because, well, my name is Hitherman, in case you haven't heard of me. I am the founder and CEO of Fortune Academy, which is a wealth education program. And I teach people a lot of things that I have done, being property, financial trading, and then how to raise IPOs and list companies into the London Stock Exchange. Raise your hand if you'd love to do that one day. Yeah? Well, this is the big vision that I'm going to show you. But most and foremost, this is about you. Okay, so do not underestimate your time. The fact that you've been here for 2 days, some of you probably just today, maybe just yesterday, you're not here today, but those who have committed for 2 days, and I know that because I've seen some of your faces twice, which is very impressive, because there's a lot of things you could have done with your Sunday, and it could be outside, but you're here trying to better your life. So allow me to help you as best I can, and I promise you will go away much, much more confident in the world of financial trading. Raise your hand if you've ever tried financial trading in your life before. Okay, good. Raise your hand if you've never done it and would love to learn. Excellent, excellent. Because this is something that actually works when you have a bit of discipline. Right, so I'm going to teach you what this word means. Forex. Repeat after me.
Forex.
Thank you. What is the world of Forex? Well, the world of Forex is called Forex because it stands for Foreign Exchange. Exactly. Now, you've all been part of it. Believe me. Have we all been part of it? Whenever you exchange money, when do we do that? When you travel, exactly. So let's pretend we went on holiday. What country, let's pretend you're all from the UK and you are traveling out of the country. Pick a country. Portugal. Can we go out of Europe? Okay, Argentina, Libya. All right, so Argentina, what's the currency there?
Pesos.
Pesos?
Pesos.
Yeah, excellent.
Pesos.
Argentinian pesos, excellent. So, I don't know the conversion rate, because I'll be honest, that's not a major currency. It's a more exotic one. What is the conversion between a pound and an Argentinian peso? How many do you get?
You get like hundreds of
Should we say, I'm going to say 1 is 100? 200. Oh, wow. Okay, are we happy with that? So pretend you took £100 of your hard-earned cash and went to like Tesco Money Exchange and you said, I would like to have Argentinian pesos. Let's pretend they actually exchange it. How much money would you get for £100? If the conversion is 200 for £1. Amazing. That makes you feel almost like a little millionaire, yes? So 20,000 pesos. We're in Argentina. How long shall we say we're there?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? Nice. And in 2 weeks, let's just imagine that you have not used the cash and you use everything on your card. Raise your hand if you use your card for everything, even £1 at purchases. That's like me, thank you. So you come back to the UK, go to the same exact place to change your money, your 20,000 pesos, and you go back to the lady or the gent and say, I'd like to have my pounds back. Do you or do you not get the same amount of money back?
You don't.
Exactly. Now this is where it becomes interesting. Why is that? Exactly. There's a different buy or sell exchange rate. And what else? The rate we talked about, exactly. But the other thing is?
Commission.
Commission, exactly. They need to get paid a commission, otherwise these people don't want to, well, they won't be in business, which is the way this world works. Right. Now that is where things get interesting. So this is where we've all been part of the financial world in terms of Forex, whether you like it or not. In fact, you have no choice. So you might as well learn how to take advantage of it. Raise your hand if you'd like to control your money rather than the banks. Amazing, because your money is currently sitting in a bank or doing whatever it does, and if you don't look after it, somebody else will. Turn to the person next to you and say, I'm going to take control.
I want to take control.
That's the theme of the last 2 days. So shouldn't it felt hard to do? Amazing, amazing. In fact, another thing I want you to really get out of this moment with me is how dangerous it is to have all your eggs in one basket. You see, one thing I've done, and I've taught students for nearly 3.5, 4 years now in this industry. Before this, I'll tell you a bit of my story in a moment. But I have noticed one thing with human beings. We don't hesitate to have multiple streams of outgoings. We have a mortgage or mortgages. We have car payments. We have God knows how many payments, whatever you do. You do not flinch to have about 500 different outgoings if you have to. Let's just say the average person is like 7. And yet you are happy to settle for one income stream. There is no such thing in your head of, why haven't I got 5 multiple income streams coming in? Yet when you go out, when money goes out of your bank account, you don't even care. See, this is one thing I find is dangerous. And it's something that even, we've all heard of the Uber story. Raise your hand if you've heard of what Uber's doing right now. Yeah? I've had Uber drivers as students, and they're very entrepreneurial, and luckily for those people that I've taught, they're okay, because they never put all their eggs in one basket. So all I'd advise you guys to do, and I'm sure Ed has been talking about it for the last 2 days, that everything you do not settle on just one income stream. If there's one thing you take away from today, is make sure you have put down that foundation for at least 2, or maybe 3. How many do you need to be financially free, by the way? I would say minimum 3 from statistics. And what is the absolute top level where you're completely sort of millionaire level eventually? 7 to 10. 7 is actually statistically proven through Harvard studies. I've done the research. 7 income streams you need. So how many of you have more than 3? Exactly. So not that many. We've got a handful, which is amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. But the rest of us, we can all add to our income streams instantly. Would you like to know a way that you could do this with half an hour to maximum 1 hour of your day, using your mobile phone if you have to, and the internet, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Raise your hand if that would be a pretty good idea. Amazing. This is an income stream that I think every single one of you, especially women, because I've seen the stories we had today and yesterday, especially the one who was the healer lady. She's still in the room? Amazing. Okay, you. And everyone who said they were single parents, anyone who said they have circumstances where they don't feel like they can get out and make the work or make the income, because, be honest, business is tough if you haven't got the resourcefulness to get out there and talk to people. Yep. Online is huge. I know what Ed's done this morning is fantastic. You must take that on board. What I'm teaching you now is something that requires zero startup in terms of business. It's going to be simply, you put some money in and you get some money out based on what you do with the steps and the rules, etc. Very simple. You follow 5 steps in one of the strategies and you should be able to create an income. Would that be pretty simple? Would you like to know that?
Yes.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, great. So, a little bit about me. Is it okay if I just tell you a bit of my story? Literally 2 minutes. Like I said, it's not about me, it's about you. Well, I went through a very traditional upbringing. In fact, my family was pretty nuts, and I shouldn't say was, is. They are still crazy people, and people that shaped me to be who I am today. And a bit like Ed's story, where you had the dad telling you you can't do this or you can't do that, or was like the big feature in their life. Who had pretty annoying parents? Raise your hand. Great. You got to feel my pain then. Well, I grew up in an environment where there was no money. Okay? Are you coming here with your parents? Oh, bless him, he's with his parents. He raised his hand, didn't he? I'm with you, we're here, it's okay. We're going to support that, kids. Bless him, that was a cry for help, by the way. Which one is your mum? That one, yeah? The one that's embarrassed, I should have guessed. It's okay, she looks pretty funky. She's got that funky... Is that what you put on her head? That looks cool, I like that. Anyway, if you had parents like mine, there would be zero argument about being rich. I knew from the age of 9, I had to be filthy rich. Why? Because all my parents did was argue about money. Raise your hand if you have seen people argue about money. It's pretty destructive. Violence. You tell me, if someone says to you that money is not important, what does that mean? That means they haven't got any. Okay? That's the truth. Turn to the person next to you and say they're lying to me. I don't care what anyone says. I'm standing here right now. I have been poor and I have been rich, and I'm only ever peak rich. Okay? There is no like, unless you're going to be a little Buddha, live on the top of a mountain in somewhere else, but you can't be in the UK and be poor. Okay? There is no such thing. We have standards we have to live. This life is not designed to be poor in the UK. You owe it to yourself. Otherwise, what happens? You're going to have parents that argue, relationships that destruct because of money. Raise your hand if you've been in one or seen relationships that destruct. Exactly. Money is a source of a lot of problems because the lack of it is huge. So what does money do? It gives you freedom. It lets you have choices that you can make. You can do whatever you want, when you want, with whoever you want. Buy your parents the things that they've always been arguing that they haven't got. It's amazing what money can do. So that was my story. When I was 9, I knew I had to be filthy rich because I was just seriously depressed as a kid. That kid looked super happy, so I don't believe him when he said he was not happy with his parent. But then I thought education was key. Raise your hand if you've been to university. Amazing. Very clever people, thank you. I thought that education was a passport to everything. I thought that my whole life would be set, because if I had the top degree, top education, I would be super wealthy, super happy. But that was very wrong. I was an A-graded student. I went to a very good school, got a scholarship because I couldn't afford it, and not with my parents, but I got in because I was clever, because again, that value was given to me by my parents. They told me you have to be super clever to get in, and that would make your passport for life. So I grew up in that environment. Then I did an optician's degree. Raise your hand if you've had an eye test before. Okay, great. That was what I was doing since, 2002? Hated it. Absolutely hated it. No offense to any opticians in this room if you are. It's just that it was not the way for me. 9 to 5 was not for me. Raise your hand if you hate your 9 to 5 currently. Amazing. Raise your hand if you've made excuses about being sick when you're not. Called in sick. Be honest, no one's going to tell. Okay, great. That was me. I used to wake up every day thinking, how can I make an excuse to not turn up to work today? That's a sign of there is something wrong here. You're not supposed to do what you do. Then the first thing I did was go to a place like this. Back in 2003, I went to an environment like this because someone told me, if you want to make money, you have to have the right people around you, etc. My friends were not going to help me get where I wanted to in life. So I had to get the right network. Your network is your?
Network.
Excellent. So I went to an environment like this. I got into property in 2003. I went crazy. Bought so many properties with none of my money down. I found rich people, used them to bridge finance for me. I used to be very good at negotiating. I was an introvert at school, so if anyone thinks that, oh, just because you're good at, you can talk on stage, I was the kind of person that never knew how to speak out in public. Raise your hand if you've been a really shy kid when you were younger. Great, you've got a huge potential. That doesn't mean you can change instantly if you want to. And I did that. I just was so good at negotiating because all I knew is if I get this deal really good, I will then make money from it and then I can have no problems. That was where I thought. And then I bought property after property after property. I've got 156 properties right now. And in the space of 3.5 years, I built up a fund of 7.8 million. And then 2008 happened. Right, raise your hand to remember that.
The crash.
Exactly. Great year. Ask me why. Why was it good? It was actually worst thing in the news for property, okay? Everyone thought, oh, okay, you've got no, if you're a property owner, you're destroyed. Because I bought them so cheap, they were still very good. They were up, they were floating high above water, but nobody was giving any mortgages out. Do you remember that? Yeah. You couldn't get mortgages. Even now it's like a little bit difficult because of what happened back then. So I had a 9-month period whereby I was just thinking, what on earth should I do? And I was going to events like this and I was thinking, well, can I have more time in my life? Because actually, I'll be honest, in property, I never had enough time for myself. I was doing 18-hour days. Do you remember when Ed was saying that while you're in a job and you have to work and get the extra income is going to be the worst thing because you've got to use all your free time, a bit like how you were saying, how do I get that time? I literally was sleeping like 4 hours a day, 5 max, and then doing property outside my job. Okay, so it was like madness. But I made so much money that it was worth it in the end. But then, what is the point of having money but no time? Is that good? No. Exactly. This is where I had to design my life. And this is something you guys can do as well. I teach my students this. You can design your life to be whatever you want it to be. Okay? It's not difficult. I wanted to have a life whereby I can be anywhere. Money's just coming in. Obviously, I have to do some work for it initially. It doesn't just grow on trees. And I could just be free to travel. Raise your hand if that would be a pretty good life. Yeah? Amazing. So that's where I discovered the world of Forex. Actually, the exact story was I walked into my office, my mortgage broker was sitting here. He was the one struggling because he was going out of a job. And he was looking at these charts on a laptop, and I looked at him and I thought, what are you doing? So what is this? And I had never seen charts. I was not interested in charts. And he told me this is the world of financial trading. I said, okay, skip to the fun bit. How much money are you making? And on an account of £10,000 with a bit of risk, he was making £880 by 10:30 in the morning. Raise your hand if you think that's okay, that's pretty good money. Yeah? So that was where I was interesting. I was thinking, this is quite good. I could actually do that. That means I could be in my pajamas by 10:30, and I don't have to talk to people. Raise your hand if that's okay. That's a pretty good thing. You know what? That actually, some days you have to wake up and think, you know what, I don't want to talk to anyone. I want to be a hermit, stay in my little hut, and just do my thing and make money. That's how I actually got to at some point. I was sick and tired of work. So I went on, and the first thing we do is what? What do we do when we want to learn how to do something? Yeah, you Google. You jump on Google and you trade how to trade Forex. Raise your hand if you've done that before. How many results do you get? Loads and loads and loads and loads. And I just jumped on it. I just thought, okay, that free information, I don't know if Ed's told you this, free information is worth every penny. Repeat after me. Free information is worth every penny. There's a reason why it's free. I'm just saying, because this is rubbish. I thought they were right. And I was going through it all, like doing in and out, stuck at a screen. I gave myself another job. I was there from 6 a.m. to about 4 p.m., just in and out of the chart. Because there's two ways to make money in this industry, very simple. Buy and sell. Repeat after me.
Buy and
Buy
sell.
and sell. When the currency price goes up, you buy. When it goes down, you sell.
Sell.
But it's knowing when and how to do it. It sounds easy, but doing it right is a whole different ballgame. That was me going crazy, and for 9 months, I thought I knew how to do it. I was making money, losing money, making money, losing money. Now, how much money would you have to lose before you realize, oh shit, maybe I don't know what I'm doing? Any suggestions? Throw some light. All of your money? Hopefully, well, it depends how much that is. But how much? Who would stop at 10,000? Is that painful? Okay, that wasn't for me, I'll be honest. And I was stupid and I kept going. Who would stop at 20,000? Is everyone out already? Yeah, okay. It's just me on my own. All right, how about 200,000 in 2 days? It was almost suicide. Do you know the neuroscience behind losing money is the same as someone dying? That's what happens in your brain. Which is why when people go bankrupt and you see financial traders jumping off buildings, there is a reason why. And do you know why winning money is the same neuroscience as what? Kinda. It's actually the same as cocaine. Which I don't take cocaine, but if you want to feel that, then you should just win some money and see how it feels. That's the same feeling apparently in the neuroscience. Which is why traders are nuts, a lot of them. Because when they lose, they need to feel that high again and they take a line of drugs. I'll be honest, I hate that industry. I'm not advocating any of that, but I'm telling you the truth behind the neuroscience. And this is what human beings are like. One, we're wired for shortcuts. What does that mean?
Instant gratification.
You want everything quick. Get rich quick. That's what I was like. That's when I lost 200 grand in 2 days, because I was trying to get rich quick. I thought I can make £1 million in 9 months, hopefully, with like, I don't know, smallish money. And I took a 5 grand account to 30,000 in 1 month. I can teach you how to do that. But then I lost it the next month. So it's not sustainable. Get rich quick is not forever. It might happen overnight. I'm telling you now, if you want to make money really quick, you're gambling. And I don't like gambling, because that's when you start losing big money. And that's when the neuroscience really gets tough. And that's when people get suicidal and whatever. But it's, this is the reality of this industry. If you want to do it properly, there are ways to do it properly and sustain your wealth. Raise your hand if you'd like to learn it properly. Amazing. Okay, good. Well, this is where, let me just show you the behind the scenes. There's reasons why people fail in this industry. If I teach you the things that people do wrong, do you think it would be helpful for you to not do that? Yeah? Okay. Well, let's just recap on Forex. So give me some currencies. We did the rule about currencies is it's always traded in pairs, okay?
Yeah.
Very simple. Why is it traded in pairs? Exactly. Have you ever seen a currency the same value as another currency? Exactly the same. Is there ever like £1 equals exactly €1? The whole thing. There's always 1 point something. Or £1 equals the same as 1 yen. Never going to happen. £1 is not an Australian dollar. Did you notice that? Yeah. Have you ever asked yourself why? And the reason is the world has created the difference, because what do you think happens to your money in the banks? The traders are trading it, and they trade it using Forex as one of the tools they use. Not always, they use Forex, they use stock market, they use a lot of things, bonds, etc. But Forex is one of those that makes money good, very, very volatile. Volatile means things go up and down. When things go up and down, that's actually very good. Okay, why? Because when things are going up and down, you can make money. All we need is the difference. That's all. So, for example, give me some currency pairs. Yep. And a pound, okay? So pound against the US dollar, which is something like that, pound against the US dollar. Somebody else said something else? The euro against yen, okay? All the euro against the pound, euro GBP. Exactly. So you you're almost telling me all the currency pairs are the big ones anyway. There's 14 currency pairs that I trade, and I teach my students to trade, and they're all the ones you will have heard of. Things like the yen, the US dollar, the pound, obviously, the Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, you know, so they're nothing new. It's not exotic currencies, they're all the big ones. Now, financial markets are something that everyone can do, and you've all heard of the stock market, haven't you? Raise your hand if you've heard of stocks before. It is actually, if you think of the stock market like a swimming pool, Forex is like the ocean. There is so much money in circulation in this industry that they'll never run out. Do you know how much money travels through London per one day? Throughout the world, but we're right in the capital of Forex. Did you know that? Because we've got Asia, we've got Europe, we've got US. It's a 24-hour market, 5 days a week. And while you're in London, you get the most money circulation going through here. How much money travels a day through London? More than 1 million, more than 1 trillion, nearly 5 trillion. Turn to the person next to you and say, that's big money.
That's big money. Obviously, that's
Pretty big money. This is never going to run out, okay? So if someone says to you that, oh, you can't make money through Forex, rubbish. You can make a load of money through Forex if you do it right. That's a big if. And I'm going to tell you why the if matters, because, all right, so we're going through the pairs. Let's imagine, I'll tell you why it matters, because let's imagine this is the euro against the dollar. This is how easy it is to trade, okay? So this is a currency, this is the price of the euro against the dollar over a period of time. So this is what? Price, yeah? So in layman terms, the price of the euro is going up, and then what happens here? It's going down. Yeah, you guessed it. So it's not difficult. So what happens when things are going up, what do we want to do? Buy, exactly. So let's say in that movement, we would buy. And then when things are going down?
sell it.
Okay, good. That's as simple as it gets. But the difficult bit is knowing when to buy and sell, and how not to go crazy with risk management. That's it. When you get those two things right, the rest is easy. The hardest thing about doing this is actually you. Why are you going to sabotage this if you don't do it properly? I've kind of given you the answers already. Yeah, you panic. Plus, remember I said the whole brain is wired to take shortcuts. Our brain is designed to have shortcuts, to stay in the comfort zone, or just say, you know what, forget that. We don't want to go through the hard bit and learn it the proper way. Let's just go for that £1 million trade straight away. And that's when you lose 200 grand in 2 days. Okay, so I know how it feels firsthand because I've done it. So I'm never going to blame someone when I see them trying to get rich quick, because I have tried it and I've lost. But when I did this right, I'll tell you how good it is. The good thing is, when I was working as an optician, and I was working 7 days a week as a contractor, I was making about £6,500, £7,000 a day. Sorry, a day, that would be good. A month. And that was a whole 7 days a week. Now, with financial trading, I learned how to trade properly, and I was making £9,000 in just 2 hours. Raise your hand if you like that kind of money. And that was by being sensible. Okay, so turn to the person next to you and say, let's get sensible.
Let's get sensible.
Thank you. This is a big deal. Okay, the graph is very simple. So this is the price. Okay, so let's pretend.
Can I just ask you the exact question?
Yes, yes.
Just on the buying and selling, in my mind, I want to buy when it's quite low, not when it's getting high.
Yeah, you are. You're buying at this point.
At what point you stop buying then?
You stop here. That's the ideal world. You're never going to get right at the bottom and the top, just so you know, okay? But the ideal scenario is whenever anything goes up, you want to buy when it starts the movement, and you want to, you stop at the top, and that's why you start selling at that point. But I'll tell you one thing, when you trade financial markets, I'll teach you a strategy in 5 steps. That will help you quite your answer a bit more. Is that okay? Yep, okay. So that is just the general gist. When things are going upwards, you buy. That's all. You just go with the movement. So you're kind of like riding the wave. So when the wave's going up, you just ride the wave. When it goes down, you ride in the wave the other way. That's how financial market works. The difficult bit is the guy that was here before lunch, maybe he should be a good Forex trader, because if he's a magician, then hopefully he's got a crystal ball. And he can help me predict when things are going up and down, because that will make everyone's life easier. Maybe we should get him here and try and tell us, okay, right, what's happening next? Because the reality is knowing when things are going up and down. And when we get things wrong, let's imagine you were thinking it's up going, it's obviously moving down. What if you were going up buying? If your trade was up buying and the movement's downwards, you lose. That's how you lose in Forex, okay? The key is not to go crazy in this and have a strategy that tells you black and white, this is going up. High probability it's going up. And even then, all you've got to do is have good risk management in place, which means that if things go wrong, it's okay to lose, but we're going to lose little. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So we're not going to say, oh yeah, we're 100% right every time. Impossible. That's never going to happen. But what we want to do is just say, okay, the probability of it going that way, I'm happy with that. Let's go in. But if it goes wrong, I have factored that into, and I will take that risk. And this is called risk management. What's it called?
Risk management.
Perfect. I will teach you that in as quick as I can. Is that are we good to move on? Yeah. Okay, great. So I'll tell you what really doesn't work in this industry. How things can go seriously wrong. I'll tell you it now, so you'll never do it. This is you right now, who is going to be a trader. Let's say, okay, where is all the money kept? All the euros, all the dollars, all the pounds, where are they kept? In a bank.
Central bank.
Exactly. So your money is in a bank. Let's imagine I wanted to trade, and I wanted to trade the euro against the dollar, a bit like that one. Can you just pick up the phone to the bank and say, can I place a trade on the euro against the dollar? No, they're not interested. They're not interested unless you have at least 100 mil in the account. Some brokers maybe a little less, some banks a little less, but ultimately they don't want to know. So who do we go through?
Broker.
A broker. Just like you get insurance brokers, just like you get mortgage brokers, you have a Forex broker. Now, the Forex broker is very needed because ultimately we do need them to place a trade. So what they do is they talk to you and they talk to the bank. So, they place that trade for the euro against the dollar. But you need to know what they don't want to tell you, which is, ask me what? Well, they definitely won't tell you that. Okay, so, how does a broker make money? Number one, commissions, correct? So, I don't know, how is it two ends? Thank you. You don't need to learn to spell for this, clearly. Commissions. All right, so commissions. A broker takes commissions, like we said, like when you travel, money changes, etc. If a broker takes commissions every time you buy and sell, do you think the broker wants you to do lots of buys and sells or less?
More.
Lots. Exactly. So never ever listen to a broker, because that was me trying to trade, and I was learning off the internet. Everything on the internet is put there by the broker. Okay? All of this, how to get rich quick. Who wants you to do that? The broker. Because they make you think that by going in and out of the market, buy, sell, like a crazy woman, that was me, I was going in there doing 27 trades a day. When reality showed me afterwards, and I'll tell you how I found out, that the proper traders trade 14 times a month. Do you see the difference? It's a big difference. Turn to the person next to you and say, that's a huge difference.
It's a huge difference.
Thank you. So, never trust a broker. Second thing, when you lose money, in a game of Monopoly, let's say, when you lose money, who does it go to? The bank, yeah. So in your head, if you lose money, you think the same. I lose money in Forex, it will go straight to the bank. That's fair. That seems fair. But the reality is what? It doesn't. I'll tell you the reality. The reality is a broker doesn't even talk to the bank. They pretend to be the bank, and they have the transaction going back and forth their way, and they cash in on your losses. So, do you think a broker is going to teach you how to play a proper game in Forex? Definitely not. Turn to the person next to you and say, do not trust a broker. It's true. This is how I lost 200 grand in 2 days. When I lost 200 grand, it went straight into the pocket of a broker. And I'll never get it back, because they are allowed to do this legally. So this is the worst thing about the industry. It's not the worst. I mean, to be honest, It's just that you got caught up. They know how human psychology works, which is everybody wants to get rich quick. They know that there is money to make in Forex, because I'm telling you now there is. There is ways that you can do it even right now from no knowledge beforehand to making hopefully 9,000 plus a day. And you can do it, but you just have to do it the better way, not the get rich quick, not the way the broker wants you to do it, which is go in and out, crazy person mentality, and then cash in on your losses. So, how you should be trading is this. Raise your hand if you're ready to learn this, because this is going to take a lot of your brain power, but I'm hoping, and I think you guys are pretty awake to me, 5 steps. How many steps?
5.
5 steps, we're going to do this, and it's going to be pretty intense, so get yourself ready. Okay, so one other thing I need to show you, before we, actually no, I can do it now. There are no straight lines in financial markets. So if anyone thinks, oh my God, I have to be good at math, I need to know something about the financial market before I do Forex, no. I'm telling you now, it's actually easier to teach someone who's never done this before. Ask me why?
Habits.
Exactly. There are no bad weeds to pick out. Because I have
No bad
taught some
habits.
very high-end people who are trading for long times, such as 27 years, that's a pretty long time. It was almost as old as I was when I was teaching them. But this guy who had traded for 27 years in his house, private trader, he thought he knew how to trade and wasn't making money consistently, not often. And when he learned what I taught him, and how did I learn? Would you like to know how I learned? Raise your hand. Because I obviously seem to like to tell you that. It's a very important part. So when I learned, come back to this 5-step thing. When I discovered this, so let's go back to the point where I lost 200 grand in 2 days, which is around 2009. It was awful. I nearly would have quit by then. Raise your hand if you would have quit by that point and thought, yeah, this is not for me, move on. This is where a lot of people, thank you, a lot of people would do that. They would actually just say, you know what, this thing is too tough, forget it. Why should we try it? It's clearly not working, or it's just a whole scam, etc. That's the reality. That is what people want you to think. And it's a high failure rate because of human psychology, no one else. The only person to blame is you. Turn to the person next to you and say, the only person to blame is me. It's very hard saying that. I know, some of you really cringe, but it's true. And I had to be really honest. What was my biggest factor here when I lost 200 grand was this big word here, which is
Ego, yeah, that's the
ego.
Ego, yeah.
Ego is the enemy. Ego is the enemy. There's actually a book called Ego is the Enemy. Has anyone read it? I suggest you do, because it's huge. By Ryan Holiday. It's really, really good. And I had a massive ego because just because you're good at something, just as like property, I was good at property. I knew I made a lot of money in that. And I thought I'd automatically jump into another industry and be good at that. Raise your hand if you've changed industry in your life before. Do you have to become quite humble? Thank you. Yeah? Because you're
Coachable.
back to ground zero. You have to start learning again. Otherwise you're going to make mistakes that you're going to pay for. And that's what happened to me. So first I had a little check with my ego. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. So let's learn from someone who knows. So who do we need when you want to learn from someone?
mentor.
A mentor, exactly. Now, take my industry, financial trading. Do you have trade? Where are the traders? You're in the city of where these traders are. What tube station are they at?
Canary Wharf.
Bank. Do you?
Canary Wharf.
Exactly. Do you see
Abang.
these traders very friendly people who want to chat to you? No, definitely not. These people are every word that I can't say right now. Okay, they're not very nice people. So there's me thinking I need to learn from a mentor. When I learned property, I learned from a mentor. I got really good because of the people I learned from, not because I was super genius, because of them. So I needed to find a new trader. So I didn't actually know who to find. But on this diagram, who knows the traders? Very good. So this is where you've got to think out the box. So that was me thinking out the box. I had got something the brokers wanted, which was what? Money, exactly. Because all they are caring about is commissions and hopefully cash into your loss. So that was me. And remember I had money from property? I had a consortium, which just meant a big pot of money where I used to buy and sell properties from. And I built up the cash from all my other investments. So I approached the broker and said, I will give you 7.8 million on the basis that you give me the top 5 traders in the city. And they were like, do you think they said yes? Who said money doesn't open doors? Huge amount, okay? If you want to buy someone, there's always a price. So the broker at that time, I mean, you can do it right now. If at this time, I would say, that was around 2009-10. Now, you could do the same thing. You probably need about 15 million because everyone gets up more rich and they expect more nowadays. So if you had a consulting of 15 million, you could do the same as what I did. Go to a good broker, not, you know, they call it institution brokers, which is just a big word for a broker that deals with the big funds. And I just asked them the simple question, find me the traders I need. And they opened the doors, and I worked with one of the best traders in the city at the time. Guess how much money the guy was making every month? $1 million a month? Sound big enough? Do you think you want to learn from someone like that? Raise your hand. Yeah, exactly. So that was who I ended up learning from one-on-one. So it took me a while to get to that point of trust where he could teach me, but that's a long story. Ultimately, I learned from one of the best, and he's my mentor even now. So this is a guy that I still swear by mentors. Right now, it's all my success is put down to mentors. So turn to the person next to you and say, I need a mentor.
I need a mentor.
Thank you. You definitely do. So, when I learned this, first he told me that everything I was doing was wrong, which was fine. Ego check, done. Then he taught me how to do this properly. So, these are the 5 steps. Rule number 1. There are no straight lines. That is the closest to a straight line you're going to get. Okay? So, have you remembered, in fact, how old is that young son of yours? 10. Okay, let's see if he's done this. Do you do physics yet? No, it's too advanced. Okay, that's a bit intense for a 10-year-old. Do you remember your physics lessons? Raise your hand if you remember physics.
Yeah.
Okay, very simple thing, because I used to not even remember physics, but do you remember what the wave theory is? Which is energy travels in waves, exactly. Give me some examples.
Sound, light.
Light, electric, heat, yeah? So everything travels in waves. So my point being that even in the financial markets, there are no straight lines. There are only waves. So for a straight line, you have to look for a wave like that. There is going to be a wave. So now, let's pretend I give you 3 points, A, B, and C. What is that wave overall movement? Up or down? Up. Okay. So this is, let's call it an uptrend. Not too complex. Anyone having a math done yet? No? Okay, that's cool. You know what? My best traders are women, just so you know. Interesting, isn't it? Who would have thought it was men? Raise your hand. No man has raised his hand. That's interesting. Why do you think women are better traders than men? Just let's ego and
Psychology.
senses. We got more senses. I thought we all had the same, but more sensible. Yes, I agree. To some extent, that is very true. They're better at risk management. They're better at sort of saying, no, that's a bit too reckless. Let's be good. That's all. But another thing I've noticed between men and female, who will ask the question first when they go wrong? Females. How many times does a man have to go wrong before he asks for help? At least 5 times. That's all. So because women are more coachable. I'm not saying men are not. Men are very good. Men have... But then, another thing. Who will be the one who has a little strop and writes a big letter of like, oh, you didn't hold my hand? Women or men? Thank you. You said it yourself. So there are pros and cons to female versus male trading. Okay? Men can do it very well. They may make more risks and lose more money. Exactly. I've learned a lot of neuroscience over my years because I want to understand human behavior better. I want to know what makes a good trader, because I'm very good at making one person go from here to here. That's what I do. And I'll tell you why I do it, because there's something huge in it for me and for you. Okay? It's huge. And I'm not talking small money, there's big money here to make. Raise your hand if you want to make some big money. Yes. good, because this is what I'm here for. Okay, so bear with me. So if anyone loses me, you snooze, you lose. Repeat after me. Thank you. All right, so ABC. If this is an uptrend, let's pretend I entered here and I came out at point C. The lady that was asking me about charts followed me here. So, am I making money here, yes or no? Yeah, absolutely. So this is okay. But if I enter at point B and come out at C, is this making more money or less money? More money. Do you see that? Raise your hand if you see that.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is because we've entered at a lower point. Because we know that this is okay, but we know the wave is going to happen. Remember I said everything that happens, all your financial trading, it works in waves. So we have to wait for the wave formation. This is called snapback. What's it called?
Snapback.
Just the movement of point B is what we call snapback. So the first thing you have to do in this is, rule number one is, if we look at this chart now, right now, are we here? Yeah? Where are we going, up or down?
No.
That's why, based on what? Your assumption. Okay, you're assuming that things are going down. Just what if it did that? Can it do that?
Yes.
Exactly. So, my point being this, that you can't guess. Turn to the person next to you and say, we can't guess.
We can't. Yes.
Thank you.
That's why you need the economic.
So what we have to do
Economic.
is this. At any given point, we can't just assume that things are going up or down based on what happened previously. We have to know for sure. So how do we know for sure? We need to put a magic line. This is where that guy's got to come back, and he can call it whatever he wants. But this is called a magic line for now. It's actually called a moving average. I'll tell you that now. Does anyone trade here, by the way? Okay, so you know what a moving average is, yeah? It's just like a line that literally takes an average of a lot of days, etc., of data that's in one place. So you don't have to calculate anything. It's all done automatically. Anyhow, this line will dictate whether we're in an uptrend or a downtrend. Very simply. When the price is above, when this price of the euro against the dollar is above this blue line, we are in an uptrend. What do we do in an uptrend? Buy.
Bye.
What do we do in an uptrend?
Bye.
Buy. Are we all with me? Yeah? Excellent. What do we do what if this happened, when the price is below? Then we are in a downtrend. Exactly. What happens in a downtrend? Do we buy or sell?
Sell.
Sell. Excellent. So you're already getting it. This is like simple stuff when you break it down. Excellent. So the first thing we've got to do in this 5-step is define the trend, because we don't want to guess. Remember you said you don't want to guess? So you have to define the trend. So turn to the person next to you and say, always define the trend.
Always define the trend.
Simple, thank you. So all you've got to do is say, okay, am I in an uptrend or am I in a downtrend? Very simple. If you're in an uptrend, you buy. If you're in a downtrend, you sell. Simple. Good. Next, we need this. This becomes number 2 now. Pretend we're in an uptrend. Let's pretend we're here. I've zoomed in and I've got this picture. We want this snapback because we want to look for that point B. It's all about point B. What's it all about? Point B. Thank you. So point B is that, retracement, snapback, pullback in the market, whatever you want to call it. And for this to form, we need to introduce you to something new. Very easy though. I promise you'll like this. So, what are these? Any guesses? Candlesticks. Repeat after me. Of course they look like candlesticks. Okay, so if I say this is a candlestick, the reason I've made this a candlestick, notice how so far everything I've done is a line. So a line of movement. But maybe this is over 1 day, okay? Let's say all of this is 1 day of movement of the euro against the dollar. And I'll tell you what, we'll make it even easier. Overall it's moving up. That's all we need to know over that day. I will then put all of that data into a candlestick and I call it a day. These are called daily candlesticks. This is one day, let's say this is Monday, this is Tuesday. Okay, that's fine. Now, if it's a green candlestick, what does that mean? The price has gone up or down? Up, exactly. So what color is the opposite? Red. Thank you. Perfect. So this is when the price is moving downwards. Let's pretend there was a downward movement of a day. Then that's one down, and that would be a downtrend. That would be an uptrend. Does that make sense? What color is uptrend? Green. What color is downtrend? Red. Thank you. So, for number 2, this is point 2. We need to find the snapback. Let me now show you what we're looking for. I am now going to make this line, this one, end up being candlesticks. Okay, so watch this, how easy it is. So, I am in an uptrend. What color is normal in an uptrend?
Green.
Green, thank you. So you guys are getting it. It's really not difficult. People, who thinks that, has anyone watched Bloomberg before? Raise your hand. Or financial trading or anything. Don't you think those people are so boring? I do. I still think they're boring. See, the problem with the industry is they are very boring people, some of them. And there's no need to be boring. Turn to the person next to you and say, this doesn't have to be boring. Thank you. Because financial trading is easy. I actually used to find people really boring, but when I found there's a handful of fun people in that industry and they make it fun. And then of course there's me. That makes it more fun because I just think I make it look like, can you understand it, 10-year-old? Yes? Exactly. That's how good it could be. I bet you the guy from Bloomberg couldn't teach him how to do it because he's too complex. What is your name? Lynn. Oh, sorry, Lee. Okay, Lee, let's see. This is my challenge. If Lee gets it, then you've all got it. You got no excuses. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah? So Lee, are you with me? Yeah, you got it so far? What step are we on? Thank you. Thanks, Lee. It's got my back. Right, so we're in an uptrend, Lee. Green candlesticks. Green candlesticks are normal, like that bit, okay? So pretend this is the line that goes like that. This is the candlestick version of that. Now, this movement here, what color is that? Red. Excellent. Yeah. So now I have candlesticks that are red. And what candlestick's that next one, Lee? Green. That's it. Well done. We had no help from you guys. Okay, so green. So we've got point A here, point B, and point C, which is a bit further up. But do you see the point here? That the candlesticks are now telling us a story that's much easier to see than just that. Because how do we define a snapback, which is this ABC movement? It's literally from finding 3 consecutive counter-trend candlesticks. The 3 C's. Repeat after me. 3 C's. The 3 C's are literally, what are they? Lee, that's a big one for you. It's the last of the first. Yes, 3 consecutive. What does consecutive mean? One after the other. Consecutive, okay? There can't be no greens in between, they don't count. So red, red, red. Consecutive, and now counter trend. What does counter trend mean?
Downward.
Against the trend, yeah? A bit like counter attack. Lee, do you watch football? Who do you support? Of course. You live in London, you support Chelsea. Very good. Good play, good team. So you've heard of counter attack? Yes. Exactly. So Lee gets this. So counter trend is the same thing, okay? When things are going against the trend, it's called counter trend, like counter attack. You know when someone, a player is going on a counter attack, they're in the defense and they've gone into attack mode, yeah? So, do you guys get it? No, I was just talking to me then. I forgot all about you guys. Right, so, uptrend. If that's the uptrend, counter trend movement is what? Downward, exactly. So 3 consecutive counter trend candlesticks. That, my friends, is called snapback. That movement there. So turn to the person next to you and say, now I know what a snapback is.
Snapback.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so Next. So that's rule number 2, by the way. Those two combinations. Who's getting it so far? Just having a check here. Perfect. Who's having a meltdown? Anyone? Hey, Lee's your tutor, so if you need any help, find Lee. If you're having a meltdown, that is.
Counter trend.
Yes, of course.
Counter trend.
Candlesticks, yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So this counter trend or this snapback, so rule number 1 is define the trend. You figured out whether you're in an uptrend or downtrend. For this purpose, we're in an uptrend. Are we okay with that? Yeah. Excellent. Then the second rule is, in the uptrend, we need to figure out this ABC thing. We need to get that set up right, because we don't want to jump in at point A. Why? Because we know the wave thing is coming. We might as well catch the bottom of the wave as best we can. This is a high probability trade. That's all. Remember I said there's no guarantees. Turn to the person next to you, say there's no guarantees.
There's no guarantee.
Exactly. So what we work off is called high probability. Repeat after me.
High probability.
Thank you. High probability means that, okay, if we do all the right steps, then there's a 7, 8 out of 10 chance that this is going to work. That's all. We can't go in, if we just jumped in at A, it's probably a 3 out of 10 chance that trade would work. Because it's, it's going up, down, and by the time it goes down, it could cash you out. You could lose a lot of money. But if we go in at point B, we have an 8 out of 10 chance of it working. That's much better, isn't it? There is not a 10 out of 10 anywhere in this industry. That's a fake, if that's the case. If anyone tells you guaranteed returns, illegal, actually, in this industry. Everything I teach, by the way, is passed through FCA. My company is getting FCA regulation literally in 2 weeks. And you know how hard that is? The first education company out there in the whole of the UK that's got it. So that's a pretty big thing. So trust me when I say everything you learn is up to that standard, not amateur, not, we've got vice presidents of Swiss banks, Credit Suisse, JP Morgan Chase, who are my students, who make a lot of money. And they work through the stuff I've taught them. So, it's very professional stuff. Raise your hand if you want to be super professional at this. Good, thank you. Yes, madam. Yeah. Yes. Oh, we got Mike. Thanks. Thank you, Valerie.
So I was just saying that, say tomorrow you decide to get into this industry. And
this question is really important for everyone, so here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you want to identify the optimum point of entering.
Absolutely,
okay?
yes. Yeah.
Because you don't know if it's an A or a B.
Yes.
Because you're just entering. Would you go and do this type of evaluation, analysis before you actually go in?
Absolutely, you do the 5 steps. So step 1, you would define the trend. So you'd have your chart.
So you do that whether you're in or out, whether you're just entering the market or whether you're like...
when you're coming out, there's a different set of rules.
No. I mean, if it's your first time in, you'd need to do this analysis.
Yes.
Whilst you're in, again, you would need to do this analysis, and then when you're going to be selling, you're going to tell us what you need to do.
Yeah. So so let's say you've never done this before. You have your chart.
First time.
Yeah. And then you do your rule 1. We're on rule number 2. You have to check you're in an uptrend or downtrend. If we're in a downtrend, this is the reverse. Does that make sense? Because what's the normal color of candlesticks in the downtrend?
Red.
So then you have this flipped. I'm not going to do it because it's going to be like, we haven't got enough time to do everything. But I'm going to do an uptrend example, is that okay? But ultimately, a downtrend is the reverse. Because downtrend means we look for green candles and not red ones. Does that make sense? Yeah? So you're on step 2. Now in step 3, even before you enter, even at this point, I don't allow students to enter because I want you to make one more check. Is that okay? So who here likes to double check things? Just out of natural, okay, good. I think it's more a female thing. Not many men do this, but I force them. And I think it pays off because they're making much more money this way, or they're definitely safe for traders. Now, the third thing, and it might be a little bit of a long explanation, so I'm going to shorten it. There is a tool. You know like how you are a builder and you have a box of tools and whatever? As a trader, you get a software, which is free, and I can tell you what that is. And you get a set of tools in there, like indicators. They're called indicators. Repeat after me.
Indicators.
Indicators. It's just very simple. It's a toolbox. One of them is called the slow stochastic. Repeat after me.
Slow stochastic.
Thank you. Slow stochastic or slow stock. And all it does is a double check tool. And I don't want to go into the in and outs too much because, well, ultimately you're looking at two lines. One of them has to be above. For an uptrend, you want the main one to be above the signal. And for a downtrend, you want the main to be below signal. You get a snaking movement with this one, okay? It's like two lines combined. They're different colors. One is yellow, one is blue. And you make, one is called main, one is called signal. You don't need to learn this right now. If you want to learn more, I can give you the opportunity to do that. Is that fair? Yeah, because I just want to go through the steps so you get it. The point is that this third step is a double check. So I want to show you how much care we take in even placing a trade. We don't just jump in because that's how you lose money. I want you to make money. Turn to the person next to you and say, we're here to make money.
We're here to make money.
Good. And in which case you have to do this because when you do this, it takes the 8 out of 10 to 9 out of 10. Does that make sense? So the 8 out of 10 possibility, if we do this and it matches, then it's a 9 out of 10 that this is going to work. We like that. We want a higher score before we go in because we don't want to go in if it's like a 3 out of 10 possibility because that's too low. In fact, you wouldn't take that trade. It's not good enough. So you want to have lots of ticks before you enter your trade. If we get this working, obviously you get your setup, and then this thing doesn't match, do we take the trade, yes or no? No. Perfect. This is called your second entry check. So it's just like a double check, okay? That's all. Lee, you good? Good. That means the rest of you are good. Are we good? Yeah. Excellent, excellent. Perfect. So are we ready to move on? Yeah. Perfect. Now this bit, that's really exciting. Remember, I am running through this fairly fast, so don't worry. If you think, oh my God, there's so many things extra that I need to know, you're right. Because a group like this, to teach this properly, it would take me 3.5 days to teach this one strategy, snapback. And there are lots of strategies I teach. And I want you to learn, well, everything properly. So I'll just go into the idea of what I'm doing now is to give you the outline. And you can decide for yourself, is this something that works for me or no, this is not for me. Is that okay? Yeah. Yeah? Perfect. Where are we? What step are we on, Lee? 4. Yes, 4. Okay, thank you. So let's imagine we went into this trade. What currency pair should we say? Which one should we go for? Give me a currency pair we like. Euro against dollar, same one. Should we try and new one? Dollar yen, okay. Let's just pretend it's dollar yen. Yen looks like this, JPY. Okay, let's imagine I was in this trade and I entered. It's an uptrend, so uptrend means things are going up. So I am buying, and I only make money on an uptrend when the market's going up. Does that make sense? Yeah, because it's not going to make. I'm just showing you worst case scenarios here, okay? Now, is it okay just to place a trade and say, yeah, I've done one step, 1, 2, and 3. I'm happy. Let's go for lunch. Does that work? What do we have to do now? Well, I'll tell you what you have to do now. It's not safe looking at this on your own. Why? Because this is what's going to happen to you. You guys are going to go crazy if you don't do this. And this is how I lost 200 grand, okay? So I'll show you. If you place a trade and you think you've done all the steps, like 1, 2, 3, and you think, okay, that makes me a good trader, I'm telling you it's not enough just yet. Let's pretend you're making money. So let's say this is £100 here. Raise your hand if you'd cash in and be like, yeah, that's enough. No? You guys want more? Okay, some of you would. Okay. So £100. So I'm telling you what psychologically will happen. If you took this trade, you would then be staring at it on your phone. You can do this on your phone, by the way. And you look at the figures and you'll see all these big numbers and you'll be like, oh my God, £100 and it's only lunchtime, I'm going to cash in, I'm happy. There's a risk you may come out too early. Do you see that? Because you see the market, I'm giving you hindsight here, the market does go back up, but this is what will happen. The £100 will show up. Then you're like, oh no, I want to make at least 500. So you hold out, okay? Then it goes smaller. Does the money go up or down here? Down, exactly. So at this point, let's say you're £20. Who here would be kicking themselves? I should have come at £100. Yes, you will all be saying this, guaranteed. You'll all be saying, I wish I came out when it was a higher. But what do you say to yourself? Let's just wait, exactly. Let's just wait, and your luck pays off, and your patience pays off, because lo and behold, things are going back into good territory. So you're up to 100, 200, 300, 400. Let's say this is 500. At this point, raise your hand if you cash out. Some of you, good. Some of you will be like, no, these cashed out, these good. So, thank you. Who here would think, right, that's it, this is my £1 million trade? This is what will happen. This is just reality. Because remember that winning feeling I told you? When you see money actually going up, happens to all of us in neuroscience. That's the, what's the word? Neurotransmitter? The neurotransmitter that goes through your head is the same as you on a high, which if any one of you have been on a high, I'm sure plenty, then then you can tell me how good that is. I don't take drugs and I hardly drink, so I can't say, but I know how it feels to be making money, so I can feel that kind of joy. So anyway, you are never going to cash out. My point being is human nature is flawed. Turn to the person next to you and say, we're flawed.
We're flawed.
We are naturally going to cause mistakes in this industry, okay? So we have no choice but to put something out. Because when this done, you're waiting for your £1 million trade, but what's happening here? Going down, what happens now? Negative. At negative territory, let's say it's negative on, what, £10. Raise your hand if you'd cash out. After all that time wasted, you are happy to leave with a -10. You're never going to do it. This is exactly how I lost 200 grand. I remember the day when it was -10 grand. And I said to myself, what do you think I said to myself? It will come back up, it's okay. Suddenly you start believing in God, okay? You are a human being that deserves mercy. And you say, I'm a good person, all my good deeds will come back and help me now. They won't. I'm telling you now, the market doesn't care about you or anyone, okay? So, at this point, your prayers are not going to work, and it will keep going negative until you may have to cash out a loss, like me, I had to once upon a time. So, how do we fix this? Raise your hand if you'd like to not have to go through that mental trauma. Thank you very much. This is what we're going to do. This is called a take profit line, automatic line that cashes out. Even if you're sleeping, it will take the money out when it's good. And this is an automatic, I'll stop your trade if it goes wrong. Okay? So this is how you have risk management. What's this called?
Risk management.
Thank you. Yeah, it's all built in. The software is called MetaTrader 4, and it's completely free. And it's a charting software that you can put take profit, stop loss. Now the key thing is to know where to put that and where to put this, okay? I'm not going to go through that, it's too long. But it's tailored for every single currency pair. Because just like how we have a row of people right here, front row, full of women, no surprise, it's an Edward Smith event, one male and me, that's it. We have, all of you are human beings, but all of you have different volatility measures. One might be more erratic than the other. Are we good here? Does that make sense? Yeah, just like our personalities are different, guess what? Currency pairs are different. The euro against the dollar acts different to the pound against the yen, acts different against the pound against the euro. Okay? It's actually euro-yen, euro-pound. So every currency pair is different. Turn to the person next to you and say they're all individuals. Thank you. Which means that everything has to be tailored, the take profit and the stop loss. Because let's imagine, with women, you guys can answer this best. Do you guys have a limit whereby after that limit is pushed, you hit the roof? Yeah, raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. So, do you know that everyone's got a different limit? Do you know some people are really patient? People like Ed, like you can keep prodding him and he won't ever be horrible to you. Have you tried that? I would suggest you give it a go. Because he's so nice. Honestly, I feel guilty sometimes. Like, I am that psycho female, like, constantly like, Ed, but this, Ed, but this. I think at one point he was just like, oh, if I knew you were this demanding, I would have charged you more. I was like, that's as far as it goes with Ed. He's so nice, it makes me laugh so much. I literally, like, that guy is super patient. But not all females are like that. Raise your hand if you can agree with me there, yeah? So some females are more psycho than others. Is that fair to say? I don't know which one, I'm not making any judgments, but that's just the truth. It's the reality of life. And some currency pairs are more psycho than others, that's all. Same thing, which means the cash out point is different for each one. So you just have to have it tailored. Does that make sense? Perfect. Now, last step. Are we ready for step 5? Yeah. Raise your hand if you're ready for this. Excellent. Perfect. Step 5, and I'll take any questions you have in a minute. Let's imagine I give you the exact scenario. This happens, which is really, really... Tell me how you feel with this. Tell me if you like this or not. Okay, so, same thing, we're buying. Same thing, we've got the take profit in there. Same thing, we've got stop loss. But, because of that, do you see how annoying that is? Were we making money, yes or no? Were we? Yes, we were. Then what happened? Did we lose or did we win? We lost because we got close, but it came crashing down, and we were so close, but it just didn't hit. And that can happen. Turn to the person next to you and say, now that's annoying. So what do? I'll show you what we do. What we will do is, while we were making money, which is all of this bit, that while things are going up, wouldn't it not be nice that this thing moved up with us? So by the time it was the top of the market, and it came crashing down, do we make money here, yes or no? Yes. Yes. Would you prefer that situation? Yes. Yeah, that is what we call a trailing stop loss. What do we call that? Trailing stop loss. Amazing. So now you have just learned 5 steps of a snapback system, which is one of the systems that I teach everybody because it's a basis from which everything else is formed. We have trading strategies that are more higher term in terms of, okay, a snapback strategy. I'll tell you how long each trade lasts. Between 3 weeks to 5 months. It's quite a long turnaround, but then the longer the trade is, do you make longer money, yes or no? More money. Yeah? Because when a trade builds, you make more money. It's a compound effect. Remember what Ed was talking about earlier, yesterday actually? He was talking about the compounding effect. Remember, we're not here to make small money, we want to make big money. Yeah, turn to the person next to say, we're here for the big money.
Big money.
Exactly, which is why we don't want to play a small game. I want to teach you like a professional. Why do I want to teach you? I'm going to show you why in a moment. Because that why I do this is super important for me, more important for you, because it's a huge opportunity here. And I want to make sure I teach people the right way, because I'm invested in making sure you get it right. Because if you get it right, then guess what? You're actually making me a profit. There will be an asset. I'm creating assets here, and I'll show you how this works. Raise your hand if you'd like to see the big picture here. Yeah? Okay, because you've just learned 5 steps. Let's recap them. Before I give you the big picture, I want to make sure you got this. Lee, have you got this? Yeah? Lovely, it's great. He said yes to everything. He's my supporter. I like Lee. Okay, the rule number 1 is
define the trend.
Define the trend. Okay? All you got to do is figure out uptrend, downtrend. Figure out by yourself. Rule number 2 was snap back. Perfect, you got it. Rule number 3?
Check, double check.
Yeah, double check. Exactly, so stochastic. You just got to double check it. Make it more like a 9 out of 10 chance of it winning, okay? Rule number 4? Perfect. Rule number 5? Amazing. Trading stop loss to make sure that we don't lose if things go wrong massively. If we've done all the hard work, we want to try and cash in as max as we can. Yes, quick question. Do we need a mic, Veronica? Okay. Don't know. Oh, thank you. Let's get your mic, because I'm sure you're going to help everyone with this.
Regarding the points that you actually put the lines, is that something that's from the application or something that you are the one saying I want it there, or you know?
We tailor it. You put the figures in, and then it automatically comes on the line. On the
figures based on the trends.
Yeah, we would have to sort of figure out. There's a few things I've not told you here because there's not enough time, but we work with calculations. Very simple, like 1 + 1 type things. Okay, nothing complex. So anyone can do it. Use a calculator, and we just put it in there.
Okay. And is that line something that will need to be changed over time, or is it?
If it's trading, yes. There is an automatic software that you can it does it yourself.
Okay.
Otherwise, Yeah, you put it on once and nothing. Yeah, amazing. Now, I can't take too many questions because I've got to show you some of the actual results. Would you like to see some of the student results? Yeah? Because before I teach you this, like to the full level, because people who want to learn this, and you need to understand why I do it, because otherwise you can't see what's in it for you. You know, what's in it for you is one, you make a lot of money, but two, the secret thing that I haven't told you yet, that I'll show you in a minute, but after I show you some of the results. Is that okay? Yeah. Yeah? Excellent. So, first of all, raise your hand if you see yourself doing this. Yeah? Because this is something that all of you can do. Perfect. Turn to the person next to you and say, I can see myself doing this.
I can see myself doing this.
There's no excuses here. Because if you think about it, who here has actually done property investment before? Just out of interest. A lot of legwork involved, yes? You've got to get out of the house, you've got to talk to people, and if you don't like people, then you've got a problem. Because this thing is more in the internet. And I got to that point. I'll tell you why I didn't like property so much after a while. One, I burnt myself out, which is never good. Two, who likes tenants who don't pay? Nobody. Who likes builders that try and rip you off every time? Every time they see a nice fancy car, they try and rip you off. They're like, oh, suddenly my price has gone up. You know, so it's very annoying, constantly dealing with like sharks. I made a lot of money though in property. I'm not going to say anything bad about it too much. I love it, but I think everyone should have multiple streams of income. What do we need? Multiple streams of income. So Forex is one of them, not all of them. I really believe that. How is this going to help you? Well, one, you can make money without having any excuses. You just got to start with something as little as £250, little as. Now, I don't see anyone not being able to do that. Raise your hand if you can see yourself doing at least £250. Yeah? Perfect. And, yes, there's an argument saying, well, you need a lot of money to be good at this. And I completely agree. But let me give you the bigger picture. If you are good at trading your money, whether it's small or big, how about you show me you can do it for 12 months? If you're good, you can get up to 100 grand average. Maximum amount of money, 1 million. Would that be pretty good?
Yes.
Now, if you were doing your same amount of trading, but with 1 million behind you, and the profits you make, I take a split. Do you see that? It's like an 80-20 split normally, or 70-30, depending on how good you are. What's even better, if you become genius trader, you can negotiate 50-50. There's nothing I can say. If you are so shit hot at what you do, and you are making so much money, and we put £1 million behind you, when I say we, I am backed by people who have got regulated funds in the whole of Europe, in US, regulated in US, regulated in Dubai. It's an international thing. I'll tell you why there's so much money. Remember, your net worth equals your?
Net worth.
My net worth is a lot of money, but my net worth is incredible. These people are way bigger than me. I'm like the small fish. You know, and this is the right crowd to be in. When you're a small fish, you're around the right people. Does that make sense? Now, for example, what I'm doing, I had no idea. I never saw this one coming. I am going to list one of my companies on the London Stock Exchange within 3 months. That's pretty big. And that's not because I suddenly knew how to do this. I didn't wake up one day, a genius thought I'm going to list a company. Somebody told me how to do it. The net worth that's around me, these billionaire guys and these multi-millionaire guys, which I started from nothing, by the way. I came from zero money. Nobody was giving me handouts. No parents. I had to put my parents into jobs. I supported my family when I was 16, paid their bills, paid my younger sister's school uniform. You know, because my parents couldn't afford it. They were too busy arguing with each other about the lack of money. So when your vision is so clear, why do you want to make money? Mine was crystal clear. I needed to be making money because I wanted to stop seeing my parents argue. Because if you've grown up in an environment where there's a serious amount of arguing and there's violence and it's not a happy environment, I wouldn't wish for anyone to live my childhood because it's not fun. But when I made money, I don't care what anyone says, money opens doors. Suddenly my parents were happier, their marriage survived just about. And then I bought them all the holidays they wanted, all the nice things, all the cars, all the houses. I even employed them in my own company. You know, so it's incredible what money can do. But if I didn't have that kind of vision, there would be no way I would have stuck it out. Do you see that? Because a lot of people will fail and tell you things don't work. There will be a million people that say, this doesn't work, that doesn't work, stick to what you know, blah, 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 blah. Rubbish. Because they've got nothing in them that's a big vision. When you have a really strong why, nothing can stop you. Raise your hand if you can understand that. Yeah? And that's what I want you to do. I want you to dig deep and understand why you want to be rich. Because there's no point having all the information and thinking, well, you know what, maybe I'll do this, maybe I won't. But if your reason is strong, you'll do whatever it takes. Turn to the person next to you and say, we've got to do whatever it takes.
Do whatever it takes.
Because otherwise,
Do whatever it takes.
life
No
will
excuse
hit
attitude.
you and it will knock you down. You know, people who are successful constantly are told, oh, you've got the easy life. And you know what? People might look at, I mean, I'm very low key. I don't like to flaunt my wealth. I'm not that kind of person. I've learned from my trader friends that you don't do that stuff. The Wolf of Wall Street, they're the failures, actually. They're the idiots. They don't make money for long. The people that are making serious money are very low key. Have you noticed that? Yeah? They don't need to flaunt their wealth. In fact, it's funny because when Ed came to my house, he's like, wow. I can't do Ed accent because he's way too cool. I can't do the accent. But he's like, oh, I didn't know you had a little crib and like the car and stuff. I was like, what do you think I did? Live in a little shack. You know, but it's funny because I don't put it out there. I literally don't put it out there because I don't see the need. You know what I see value in my education and my teaching? My strength is in my students. If I can see my students do well, that shows I'm good at what I do. Not, oh, look at me, I've got so much money, I'm worth X amount, I've got a nice Bentley, I'm going to buy a McLaren next week. That's not what I'm about. I don't care about that stuff. You know, it's not that, just because someone at the top here is good, yeah, they've got to be good at what they do, but their value of how good they teach is more important. If I can get results out of my students, that means I'm good at what I do. So I put all my efforts in that. Why? Because, like I said, the bigger picture is something I just don't want you to not see, because I've seen where people fail in Forex. Get rich quick is going to destroy us, okay? So anything that has got big money behind it, that's where I want you to go. Because I've seen the problem with Forex and why people do it wrong is when they've got too small a pot to play with and they think, okay, to make that grow really fast, I've got to take stupid risks. I've got to then take so much risk that they might blow it, which is what I don't want to see. So what I'm doing with you guys, I'm creating assets in you guys. So I have to teach you something that works. Because if you don't make money, I can't on a business level, it won't work. This is actually the most inspiring thing, if you guys have ever got here, and I hope you do. Has anyone got to a point where making money for you alone is not enough? Raise your hand. You need to have a bigger vision. Exactly. That's what it did for me. Up till I made so much money when I was younger. Up to the age of 25, I was multi-millionaire level. But I was also the lowest depression. I was the lowest level. I was most depressed at that level in my life. Because making money for you is not fulfilling. I felt empty, a void. Yes, I made my parents happy, but guess what? They damaged me so much by then. I'm not pointing fingers, I'm just saying I was still a cracked human being, so I needed to work on me. And making money alone wasn't filling the void, it wasn't doing much. So when I suddenly realized, you know what, I want to help. I actually did a life coaching course back in 2008. I thought I'd be a life coach, which is great. But then, when I started doing financial trading and people were coming to me saying, teach me, my friends were coming, saying, oh, I've seen how well you do, can you teach me? And I taught them. And I thought, wow, this is really good, I'm helping you, now I'm helping you, now you want to do it, I've seen your life change, you're changing your job, you've moved from here to there. One of my top students, she started with 10 grand from a credit card, she didn't have any money, she was taking a bus to work every day. 3 hours on traveling back and forth. She was skint as hell. And she came to me and said, I really want to make this work. And you know what, I'll be honest, I have my doubts because I thought, one, she's female, she's going to be more emotional. I'll be honest, I'm female, I know. But I thought if she's got a strong perseverance like I do, then she'll do it. I needed to know her why. It's all about her why. Now she's my top student. Do you want to see her account? Yeah? So can we have slide number 1, please? She was WhatsApping me. She's in Bali. She just recently went to her, she went to Bali for her birthday. I blocked out her name for privacy. I said, enjoy your trip. And then she sent me a snapshot of her trading screen. And she goes, account's improving. Look how low key she is. Now look at her account. Next slide, please. There you go. How much money is she making in a day? Top figure. £7,500. £7,403, £30, 52 pence. Can you see that blue figure at the top? Yeah, that is the profit she's making. She started with 10 grand. Yes, round of applause. Give her a round of applause. She started with 10 grand. Look at her balance now. And she's been my student for 2.5 years. Is that pretty good?
Yes.
Everything I do is for life. Because most people, I know Champions Academy don't do it, but most people, except Champions because they're great, they do a mentorship for a small amount period of time, expect you to like sell you a dream and tell you you're going to be really good. I do things for life. Because I know for a fact this stuff takes a long time to be good. If I left her a year later, she would have had a meltdown. She had a few hiccups, and to get to this level wasn't easy. It wasn't something that happens overnight. It takes a while, and it needs a mentor. She asks me all the time. She's constantly WhatsApping me, voice notes, back and forth, because she needs her mindset improving. I told her to change her friends. She had to leave that job eventually. She had to stop using that bus. Why does she have to stop using the bus? Exactly, because she is around a very poor mindset. There's a reason why people live in certain areas and are rich. Why do I live right next to Jeremy Clarkson? Not next to, I'm talking about at least 8 miles. Yeah, I'm driving his cars. I'd like his cars. But why do you think people like Jeremy Clarkson and Victoria Beckham and David Beckham bought a house not far from me? Why do you think those kind of people all hang out in the same area? Mindset. Nobody blinks an eye. Nobody thinks, oh my God, you're great, let's put the red carpet out for you. Nobody cares. Everyone's just super A-list, super whatever, but we respect the mindset. Remember what Ed told you, network is network, it's true. I moved area from where I grew up, which was Coventry, by the way. Raise your hand if you know what Coventry's like. Yeah, great. So that's where I came from, which is not a very high-end place, believe me, worst. And this is what I told her to do, because there's no way she was going to get to that level without she had to get off that bus. I said, go and have a nice trip. She knows she was, with this account, she still thinks she hasn't got enough money because she's so low-key. And she said, I want to have enough money to go first class. Do you think she can go first class with that kind of money? I do, but this is what, she's just very humble, very nice. Next slide. That's the same day, just some fluctuation. Do you see? She showed me 2 snapshots. These are all her trades. One is losing. This is a good trade. These are good trades. There are some you do lose, obviously. Now, this, worst case scenario. This is another student. He's been with me for 6 months, trading a £5,000 account. Can you see that? So it's 5,000. And his daily, he's making his that. Not bad for daily. Yeah, that's his profit for just that day. I asked him, what's his snapshot? He's taken half an hour to place the trades. This is going on throughout the day. Is that pretty good? Raise your hand if you think that's pretty good. He's not staring at the screen. We don't like staring at the screen, because when you stare at the screen, you start playing with your own emotions and you suddenly go crazy. And you will start placing trades when you shouldn't. You should be taking out trades. It's not worth it. Worst case scenario, things like this. This is the kind of, but this is a 6-month-old student, so fairly new. And they're on a 5 grand account. Of course. Why am I showing you this? I'm showing you what top end could do to you, and what also after 6 months where I'd like it to be. And it can happen, because these are results I've just had last week. All of them within the last 7 days. I have got thousands of results. All on my YouTube if you want to have a look. And you'll see the Vice President of Swiss Banks on there. You'll see my students who come from rock bottom, who's a 19-year-old, who is now approached by 9 hedge funds in the whole world because he's such a good trader. So there are amazing results we've created, and this is something I swear by. My value as a human being is now in you guys. Does that make sense? Because I get a different kind of high from seeing other people do well. Because it's not about me anymore. Now, would you like to see? So, I mean, these are my assets. Now, those people, definitely the first one. are going to get funds, minimum, okay, average, she'll be getting about 100 grand minimum. We have to see, because she's already got about 100 grand in her account. 100 grand first should feel easy. But the most I can give her would be 1 million. Now, if she's making, let's say, a 10% return, how much is that in money? 10%? 100 grand, yeah? 100 grand. If you're making 100 grand in profit, and we take a 70-30 split, how much do I get? It's not just me, it's me and plus the other people. 70k, what do you guys get? 30k. Is that good money? From doing nothing other than me saying, well done, you're good, here you go. Now, if you do 1 million, and that's been very conservative, like 10% a year, okay? 10% a year, my God, my students do that a lot more. So, if you did even 40% a year, and how much would that be? 400,000, okay? 40%, which I'll be honest, is about 50% of my students do about 40%. Okay, so I'm talking about annual return now. Notice I'm not talking about daily, monthly, that's too amateur. So you could make £500,000 in return, and if you even took a quarter of that, which will take more, 25% is a quarter, you could be making 100 grand extra income, just like that. Raise your hand if you'd like that money. For doing just half an hour a day. Turn to the person next to you and say, this is the kind of life I need. Yes. Would you like to see the, I'll show you how the training's done. If you want to see how we do it, it's very, very, this is called, because if you want this kind of life, raise your hand if you'd like to know how to learn this properly, because there's a lot to it, okay? It's not what I told you just now, thank you. So this is called the Pinnacle Pro Trader Program. And I'm going to give you a platinum version, okay? Because this is something I've never offered before, but Champions Academy have caused me to be extra nice to you. So I'm going to be extra nice. And what you learn from this is you learn the medium-term strategy, which is the snapback. You learn the long-term strategy, which means the longer you hold a trade. This lady, one I showed you, the £7,000 result one, she loves the long-term one. I've personally had the long-term one on my own account, and when I say long-term, they last so long that you make an annual salary with one trade. Raise your hand if you'd like your whole salary in one trade. That's pretty good money, believe me, but it's a lot of discipline, and if you've got the discipline, then you can do what I showed you on her results. So, you get the medium, you get the long-term strategy, you get the world-famous rolling risk strategy, which I am very proud to say I have a 100% record of no one losing their money with this. When they follow this, nobody has lost their money. That's a claim that nobody can make, but I can, because nobody, if they follow it, this strategy is incredible. It's risk management, okay? So I'm not saying you're going to make millions overnight. What I'm saying to you is that you will never lose your money. You'll never blow your account if you follow this. And if the broker doesn't mess around with your money, of course, that's a different ballgame. But based on trading error, zero trading error if you do it with this. Next, there is a hedge fund. So there's special rules. Now, the best traders in the industry are called hedge fund traders. Hedge fund traders are people who've got their own money in the same pot as everybody else's. These people, I deal with people like footballers. Chelsea footballer, yeah? Do you know who? Oh, I can't say names, I'm not allowed. But Chelsea footballers, big clients of ours. Do you know how much a footballer earns a week? How much?
100,000.
I like Lee, he knows his stuff. Sorry, you do, that's really good. That's how much money they make. Average client makes about 100 grand a week. These are premiership people. So, do you think they are, our investment into the funds, my trader trades it, they have to put a minimum of 250 grand. Do you think it's a lot of money for them? Definitely not. So this thing is growing all the time. We deal with high net worths all throughout, throughout England, Europe, and then we've got different funds for America and Dubai, whatever. But ultimately, the hedge fund traders are the ones that trade it. They have special rules that nobody else trades with. i.e. the normal stuff on the internet. Zero. They won't teach you this. And this is what, you know, the 27-year-old trader, the 27-year-old trading guy, the one who'd been trading for 27 years in his house and thought he was good. When he came to my program, he said he may have known the rest, which I give him that, but he never knew this thing. He said he'd never trade the same again. Because remember I told you each currency has a different behavior. What happens during things like Brexit? What happens during things like Donald Trump times, you know, when he causes havoc, which guess what, he does every week. So there are things we've got to do in the market that are different. There are certain currency pairs. Did you know the yen is a big player in this? How does the euro act? There are different things. The dollar acts differently. The pound acts differently. So we need to know what to do with each one. And believe me, it's easy. When you know this, you will never look back. It's very powerful. These are hedge fund rules. Next. Who feels like this thing needs someone you can hold a hand with and call your mentor? Raise your hand if you want a mentor with this. Amazing. Because you do get a mentor. You get a one-on-one mentor. I'll give you the best person I can find that helps mentor my students. I teach everything myself, by the way. This is done, the Pinnacle Pro Trader, is done over 3 days at a time. It's lifetime membership. So if you get hold of this, you get lifetime training. That means you can come back over and over and over again, at least 3 times a year, if not 4. Because if you want to recap something, I'm happy for you to come back, speak to me, we'll do it face to face. Does that make sense? Because I'm here to make sure you make money, because if you make money, I make money. Turn to the person next to you say, we make money together.
We make money together.
That's the best solution when there's a win-win for everyone. Because most educators, and I'll be honest about this, because one of the things that made me want to do this was I saw educators teaching Forex, and they did it really badly. Why? Because they were in bed with the broker. Not literally, I hope not, because we're all men, and they're men and men. But that would be weird, but in terms of these kind of people that I'm seeing, anyway, the brokers are paying the educators to teach them absolute rubbish. Because when I said the broker takes their losses, the worst case scenario is the educator will teach them the get rich quick thing and say, oh, I can make you loads of money instantly. And then the broker then cashes in with them and says, oh, well done, educator, here's your money. And they'll never see them. They don't offer lifetime because they can't, because they know what they teach doesn't work. I'm offering lifetime, I've got FCA regulation. There's a reason why that happens, because you have to be top of your game. You plus a broker are never on the same page. And a lot of these educators, unfortunately, are paid out by brokers to do exactly what you don't want to know, which is teach you rubbish. And they charge you a lot of money for it. So, raise your hand if you don't want to be one of those. Just so you know, you're not. Good. Excellent.
Sorry, I just have a comment about what you said about men and men.
No, I haven't got a problem with men and men.
Okay, we're just checking.
Definitely not. My best friend is gay, just so you know. His name's Mark Fox. He's very gay. But I love him because he helps pick my shoes. You know what? I love him. He's the best guy to go shopping with. But I'm just talking about the people in the brokers. I wouldn't want anyone to sleep with them. Just saying, because I don't like them. Yeah? So let's make that one clear. Okay, so medium, long-term rolling, risk strategy, hedge fund, one-on-one mentor. Another thing, why do people who do education courses, if you want to do this, by the way, I'm very picky about who we go with. I like to help keep a high quality standard students. I don't want people who are half-hearted. Does that make sense? Because ultimately, if you're not fully in it, that means you're not going to make money. You're wasting your time and money and my time, which is not good. I don't want to waste your time. Turn to the person next to you and say, we don't have time to waste.
You don't have time to waste.
Exactly, thank you. So, one thing that really helps is that you get a community group of traders that helps keep your trading spirit alive, because when you go home, believe me, people don't want to support you when it comes to trading. If you go and tell your mom, when I told my mom or dad when I was first time trading, do you think they were happy with me?
No.
Do you think, oh, yes, child, if you want to make money, go study Forex? Do you think they're going to say that? Absolutely not. They definitely don't. So believe me when I say no one's going to support you on this journey. You are on your own. Except if you have your child with you, then it's a different game. These are good parents. But most of the time when you go home, if they're not in the room with you, they're not going to see eye to eye with what you're doing here. So it's a very different ball game. And last thing before I show you how we do the trading, you come to meetings with me every 3 months. Throughout the year, I have huge get-togethers. We have get-togethers where all the students, and the best thing, the biggest asset you can get from this is the network of other traders. My students are another level of human being. I am so proud of them. Vice presidents of banks, we've got tech people, we've got e-commerce gurus, we've got all sorts of people in that group. So some of the best things about being in a group like this is the other people you'll meet. Do you see where I'm coming from? Because these people, and you'll meet that lady. The lady I'm showing you these results, I'll tell you whose results are whose, because we're open in the community, but we have to restrict we have privacy rules, which is only fair. But ultimately, you get to meet the top people in this whole community that we've got. Is that pretty cool? Yeah? Do you want to see what the training's like? Do you want to see how you have to learn, etc., how it works? Okay, great. Can we get the video of the training, please? See what you think of this.
As usual, it was brilliant. A lot of information.
It's been fantastic. Very simple way to learn and very logical.
Will you develop yourself?
Absolutely fantastic experience, I would say, because I feel like a professional now.
I got that fire in my soul.
I heard about it in the past and didn't really know much about it, and I saw an event advertised where everyone was talking about it, and I just thought I'd just pop along and have a look, and it was something that really excited me, and it was just a way that I could make some extra money from.
It's gold, I got that fire in my soul. I don't need anything to get me through the night, except the beat that's in my heart. It's keeping me alive. I don't need anything to make me satisfied. The music does me good.
It was all about understanding the rules, what works, and as long as you follow the rules and also plan your risk management, which is the key thing, you just cannot go wrong.
I just play around on demo, which is nothing. So this is the real proper trading experience for me, so which is fantastic.
I like the way she explains, even if you don't understand it. She just goes over and over. Forex, it's not that easy, but the way Heather teaches us, it makes it more easy to take and understand. So it was quite easy for me to learn.
She's also explains it in a fun, interesting way. So it's not like a lecture you go to. It's very interactive, very hands-on. There's lots of exercises to do to make sure you fully understand what she's taught you. Yeah, she's an excellent teacher. Brilliant.
So you actually get some personal time with Heather, and you get to understand that, but you also get to speak to the other students, whether they're from your group or they're students that have been trading for longer than you, and you actually have that support network around you so that you can learn from each other, which is more valuable than anything else.
The fact that everything is live, that you don't do anything on virtual accounts and virtual friendships, nothing is virtual, everything is live. So you kind of feel it and live it at the same moment.
Give him a round of applause. Thank you. I love my students. We spend a lot of time together, and so we really get to know each other. Which gets me to my next point. Can I teach this in a big group? No. Have you seen the size of the groups? I wanted to show you so you saw firsthand. I have to keep it small because I believe in high quality, one-to-one, fairly intimate type of training. Because otherwise you miss something and I won't realize, and I have to make sure you get it. And I really spend a lot of time with my students. I know them, I know everything they do. I know their personal life, I know all sorts of inside information, which is quite fun. But to do that, I have to keep the quality of the room very high. That means small. So I would like to know, of course you need to know, is there an investment? Raise your hand if you're thinking that, because you should. Would I teach this for nothing?
Of course.
No, because remember what I said, free advice is worth every... Unfortunately, you know what, I tried it. Once I actually thought, because I just want good trainers, I don't care how I get them, what I do, I just need them. But I actually thought, if I taught this free, and it taught someone and made them a good trader, I'll be doing this free all day. Because my money, the big money, on a business level, comes at the end. You have to prove yourself, I give you money, great. But I taught it free twice. And those two people, do you think they're still doing it? Do you think they did it after the 3 days I spent with them, one-on-one? Unfortunately not. So there's a thing about human psychology, when you don't have any skin in the game, what's it called? Skin in the game, exactly. When you don't have that skin in the game, you guys just don't take it seriously. It's the same with me. I'm the same. If I don't pay for something, I don't feel like I value it. You know, the more you actually invest in something, the more you value it. Is that right? Yeah. Does that make sense? So, then you've got to find a balance. How much can the investment be without it being too high, so you cut everyone out, versus not enough pain? If we could take Lee away from that mom and said, I'm going to lock him up into a cage until he's allowed back and she'd learn it, then she probably would. But I can't do stuff like that. The only thing you can make people do is make them make an investment with their hard-earned cash. Does that make sense? So the only way that human beings work. So, would you like to know how much this is? Yes. Okay. Well, I'll tell you, if you come to my programs, and I'm not even kidding, this is how much you would have to invest. Because it's lifetime. 3,997 plus VAT. But, and if you come to my events, I mean, I literally, the Platinum, Pinnacle Pro Trader Platinum, which is lifetime, mentorship, etc., etc. But, I know we're at Champions Academy and we have to be nice. So, I have another deal I made with Ed. I said, what if they give me a testimonial? Because I'm so confident that the training is good. And I know you will find it like 10 out of 10. So I said, if people give me a testimonial, I'm giving them a discount. Raise your hand if you're up for that. Okay? But I need you to stand up if you're serious though. Because I can only take 20 people, and I mean it, 20 people. Stand up, because there's more than 20 there, so if you're serious, and there is a team at the back of the room that if you want to go out at the back, and this is something you really want to do, remember how this end game works. You need to have some skin in the game. You show me you're committed. And normally when I take on a student, I have to ask them one question, and I'm going to ask you all of these, all of you are going to ask you this one question first. You will have to prove to me, stay standing, whoever wants to, sorry, it won't be long, why you want to do it. If I see that there is a slight glimmer of, not sure, and my team at the back, they're amazing by the way, you will meet them, and I've asked Ed personally, I said make sure that they technically interview you guys when you do it. They just have to have a word with you and say, why do you want to do this? If you're like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure. If you give me a slight get-rich-quick answer, you can't do it. Okay? So no get-rich-quick. Turn to the person next to you say, no get-rich-quicks.
No get-rich-quick.
Because if you want to make big money, this is for the big time end goal, you need to do this properly. Okay? So if we do a discount, I was thinking of something. First 20 of you only. Don't know. Should I do this? It's a big jump though, because I'll tell you what normally happens at my events. At my events, this is not the Champions Academy one, this is my event. If someone does me a testimonial, we take it down to 297, which is very good. Lifetime, it helps cover the costs of the training rooms. Rooms like this, we have smaller ones, but because they're training events and you have tables, we have to pay for those every day, they cost. So we have fixed an investment that we know will cover overheads. But I'm telling you, the next thing I do is not going to cover my overheads. So I'm only going to do it once. So if you're one of those people that want to do this and want to do a lifetime training, then you need to start making your way back to the back of the room now, because when this is gone, it's gone. I won't be doing it again, okay? Because for the first 20 people that actually come onto the Pinnacle Pro Trader course and its lifetime, it will be happening every 3 months next year. This year there's one event. If you want your place, you've got to secure your name with my team now, because when I do this, it will be gone. I can only take 20 people, and the actual investment from you for a lifetime will only be 997. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that's the best I can do. Ed Smith has killed me for this. Okay, I can't literally go any lower than that. I'm not making any money on that. It's literally, I don't know, lifetime it's not making me an investment, but I'm going for the big end goal. I don't do these events often. This is the first time I've spoken on this event. Normally when you come to my events, if you ever do, you'll see I will never go lower than that. And that's what the testimonial is. Okay? So believe me when I say I love having good people, because there's so many women in this room, I had to applaud that. I had to celebrate that fact. But you know what? You've been amazing. I want to say thank you so much. Give yourselves a massive round of applause.